Welcome to Audio Notetaker for the Mac. We like to think of Audio Notetaker as being a bit like a word processor for spoken language, not because it turns speech into text, but because it makes working with audio so easy. This tutorial will cover all the features of Audio Notetaker, from navigating and annotating audio to editing and exporting audio. From time to time, you may need to stop to have a bit of a breather, in which case you'll want to click the depressed play button at the top left-hand side of the screen to stop playback. Alternatively, you can hold down Control and press the spacebar. Pressing Control and the spacebar a second time will resume playback. You should try that now. Before we continue, let me introduce you to the layout of Audio Notetaker. Audio Notetaker displays information in three columns called panes. It has an image pane on the left, although this isn't necessarily always displayed, a notes pane in the middle, and an audio pane on the right. The image pane contains images, PowerPoint and PDF slides. The notes pane is the place for text, and the audio pane displays a visual representation of your audio recording. It's all quite self-explanatory, really. It may also be worth noting right at the start that you can either speed up playback or slow it down using the plus and minus symbols next to the playback controls on the toolbar. Use it to listen to your audio at a pace that suits you. Also, don't forget that you can use Command and Z to undo any changes you make, so feel free to experiment as we go along. Right, let's get stuck in. Seeing as navigating audio will be useful for you when listening to this notes file, let's start with how to move around in Audio Notetaker. You may have noticed by now that each phrase is displayed as a bar, and the gaps between them show pauses. You can click on a bar with the mouse to go straight to any part of the audio that you like. Notice that when you click in a pane, the top of the pane turns blue, showing that that pane has focus. Try this out now by clicking in the notes pane and then back to the audio pane. However, Audio Notetaker has been designed so you don't actually need to use your mouse if you don't want to. Once the audio pane has focus, you can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to quickly navigate through the bars. Try it for yourself now. Make sure the audio pane has focus, then move up, down, left and right with the arrow keys on your keyboard. You can use the space bar to pause the audio. Pressing it a second time will restart playback. Audio Notetaker also displays your audio in sections. These are like paragraphs found in written text. They help you structure your audio and notes by breaking up the recording. So, as you can see, this is the fourth section in this notes file. You can create a new section by pressing the Enter key, and you can delete a section by pressing the Backspace key. Try it for yourself now. Press Enter and then Backspace. Viewing audio as bars has more advantages than simply making navigation easy. It also means you can annotate your audio without using any words. This segment, unlike the ones before it, has been coloured red. This is called marking and is really useful for labelling the audio in ways that are meaningful to you. You may want to mark a segment because it's an important bit you want to make sure you can find quickly later. Or maybe because it's a really great quote. Or it could just be a marker to say, I really don't understand this. I'll come back and listen to it again later. Use marking in any way that makes sense to you. You can mark segments by pressing the coloured rectangles at the top of the toolbar. Try marking this segment right now using the marking buttons. You can also mark more than one segment at a time. Use the mouse to select several segments at once, then press a marking colour to mark all those segments together. You can also add many more additional colours to the toolbar from the colour palette in the Preferences menu. Now, you should notice that this section is a different colour from the others. This is because it has been highlighted. This is similar to marking, but it applies to the entire section. Use the square buttons on the toolbar to highlight a section. Try pressing the green one now to turn this section from pink to green. Highlighting sections is really useful for marking topics in a lecture, new speakers, points on an agenda, or to show that the entire section is worth coming back to and hearing again later. Audio Notetaker makes the editing of your audio really easy. Just select segments with the mouse, right-click, and you're able to cut, copy, paste, or delete parts of your audio recording. The ease of this will really help you edit interviews, cut unnecessary parts out of meetings or lectures, or create a music album from a live recording. You can also select segments and drag them to move your audio around. Segments can be split into or merged together using the split and merge options under the Format menu bar. Controls for this can also be added to the toolbar. Just right-click on the toolbar and select Customize Toolbar. If you find that a recording is too quiet or maybe too loud, use the volume control on the top right-hand corner of the audio pane to change the volume. The magnifying glass button next to it will compress the size of the bars. Press it now to see for yourself. This feature is particularly useful when you are recording live and don't need to navigate through the audio. It's worth remembering that you can also alter the default settings, such as size of the segments and many more things besides, in the Preferences menu. Now, the Notes pane is the place where you should write short notes, as its name suggests. Because you have the audio alongside, this could be as little as a few words to indicate the topic, a URL, a reference to a publication, or maybe an entire quote. It's really up to you. You can change the text size and font using the Fonts menu on the toolbar. The Image pane is the place to keep images. This may be a photo you've taken, a diagram, PDF document, or a PowerPoint slide. You can copy and then paste them into each individual section, or you can go File and then Import Images to import multiple images. You can also import a whole PowerPoint presentation or PDF document into Audio Notetaker by clicking the Slides button on the toolbar. Alter the size of the image pane by dragging the edge of the pane left or right with the mouse. You can hide or show the audio, notes, or images panes from the toolbar. If you have a large amount of text, you can shrink the notes pane to the size of the other panes using the Truncate button found in the top right-hand corner of the notes pane. You'll notice that the image pane has this button also. You may find it useful to know that you can make changes to the audio pane whilst writing in the notes pane. While the focus is in the notes pane, you can pause and play the audio by pressing Ctrl and Spacebar. You can create a new section by pressing Command and Enter, and you can delete section breaks with Command, Shift and Enter. You can mark segments by pressing Alt, Command and a number, depending on which colour you want, and you can highlight sections by pressing Alt, Command, Shift and a number. There is a comprehensive list of shortcuts found in the help file. Above the panes is space to enter metadata. This is essentially just a way of labelling your notes files so you can quickly come back to them later. Mark the title, topic and speaker in the boxes. The date should be saved automatically from your recording, but if you'd like to, you can change this if you want. If you're a student, then the title would be what your lecture is about, the topic would be the module name, and the speaker would be the name of your lecturer. Filling this bit in straight away is a really good habit to get into. That way you don't forget to do it. That was quite a lot to take in. You should feel quite confident working with your audio recordings now. Although, now I know what you're thinking. This is all well and good knowing how to edit and annotate my recordings, but how do I get my recordings into Audio Notetaker in the first place? Audio Notetaker has been designed to give you maximum flexibility and choice. You can either record audio live using Audio Notetaker, or you can import audio from your computer. Live recording couldn't be easier. Just hit the record button. That's the red circle on the left of the toolbar, by the way. Audio Notetaker automatically creates segments for you as the audio comes in. To stop recording, you should press the record button again. Live recording is great because you can create and highlight sections, mark segments, and create notes on the fly, which is really convenient. The quality of your audio will depend on what microphone you use. Apple products tend to have pretty decent ones built in, but you can also use external ones if you require even greater quality. You can also alter the quality at which Audio Notetaker saves the audio in the Preferences menu. Be warned, higher quality does mean bigger files. But what if you want to use audio from another source? That's easy too. Import audio files from your computer using the Audio button on the toolbar. You can select multiple files at once, and Audio Notetaker will import them all into the same notes file, with a section break in between each one. After you've been using Audio Notetaker for a while, you'll no doubt want to come back to the notes files you've created. Go to View and select File Manager to bring up a list of all your notes files. You can reorder this list in many ways, by name, topic, speaker, date recorded, or any other information saved within the metadata. You can also search for keywords, phrases, or quotes. It'll even search through the text within your slides as well. When you do come back and revisit your notes, you may want to do so without the distractions of the toolbar. Presentation mode is great for this, and is really useful for reviewing a lecture or presentation. You can access it by going to Presentation mode in the View menu. You can still navigate through the audio segments, but you cannot annotate or add text. Press the Exit button in the bottom right-hand corner to return back. What if you only need to keep certain parts of your recording? Or, what if you want to organise your recording into new notes files? You can quickly do this in Audio Notetaker by extracting certain coloured segments or highlighted sections into a new file. To do this, go to Edit and then Extract Colours. This will pull these colours out and place them into a new notes file. Why don't you try doing that now? Finally, what if you want to use your notes or audio outside of Audio Notetaker? Well, it's easy to export your text. Just go to File, Export, and then select Text. You can also export your audio in a similar fashion. The other cool thing you can do is export your images, notes, and audio to be used on a portable music player. Go to File, Export, then Album to iTunes, and Audio Notetaker will send your notes file to iTunes as an album. Each section will be a new track. The first line of your notes will be the track name, and the image will be the album art. The remaining notes will be displayed as lyrics for each track. This means you can review your lectures and meetings on the bus, on the train, walking the dog, or any other time you have a few minutes to spare. This concludes the Audio Notetaker tutorial. We hope you enjoy using Audio Notetaker. Remember, we have more tutorials online if you need any more help.